although my great-grandparents had PhDs, so thank you for, putting me in that category as well as most of the people in this room. Thank you very much. My question to you is, when you say just drop nukes and daisy cutters and all this bullshit on people who live, people who are on this planet, human beings, what makes you different? What differentiates you from ISIS and Daesh and Wahhabism and all this? And wear that cross around your neck. How dare you? Why are you here?
Why are you in this country if your culture's so hot?
By the Soviets. That's why. Because my grandfather was a political science PhD from Indiana University who came to this country for an education, and when he went back, he was assassinated. That's why.
That sounds like a really rotten culture, one that would assassinate a Soviet community.
Hold on.
We don't assassinate our political science PhDs, so I would say right there we got a better culture.
So we canceled your appearance here on Tuesday, and from what I've been reading, you thought you were banned for life from the show. Were you behind that report?
No, I didn't say that. That was from a reliable news report that, by the way, has never had to retract a report on exploding GM trucks.
So, yeah, there's been a lot of excitement, some of which I'm not that thrilled about, but is he an effective president? Well, how do you judge that? What did he run on? What did he promise? I think none of his supporters, maybe some of them, really just thought it would be fun to have this tacky billionaire in the White House. I think most people thought, no, he's the only one raising the issues we have been dying to have some president raise. And, screw you Republicans, screw you Democrats. We're going to put this nut in the Oval Office because he will at least put Americans first and not Wall Street first. And has he done that? Well, in 7 months, he's really going after MS-13. He's attempting to prevent terrorists from coming into the country. The courts, we're getting massive resistance from the Democrats, as usual, as we got during the civil rights era. But he'll win in the end. He's interviewing for the wall. He has a fantastic attorney general. He has a fantastic head of ICE. So as for what he has promised and whether he's implementing it, I'd give him a B. I'm looking for an A by the midterms.
Now, Ann, I have to tell you, Anthony Weiner had some white powder sent to his house with a threatening letter. And, Louise Slaughter had a brick thrown into her storefront. Stupak is getting threats. People are putting coffins on Democrats' lawns. This kind of hate speech that's going on right now has to stop.
I wouldn't bring it up, except that it happened, 2 nights ago here. Yeah, okay, and 200 kids were bringing rocks and sticks to a speech of mine. And I've gotten white powder, and I've been attacked on my property. You don't hear conservatives whining about it all the time. A liberal gets one piece of hate mail, and suddenly Paul Krugman is blubbering on the op-ed page of the New York Times. That's why, by the way, I mean, the only thing responsible people can do, responsible people on air, responsible elected officials, is to try to give public figures some privacy. In a country of 300 million people, there are going to be some crazy people out there. And I note that it has become a passion of people on a different cable network to reveal the addresses of conservatives.
Well, we don't like, but that's the problem.
You could show up at the University of Mississippi. You could show up at Bob Jones University, and you wouldn't need a bodyguard. There is not a conservative in America who can go to a college campus in America without a bodyguard.
Listen.
Do not tell me that this is a bigger problem for liberals. It's not even equal.
It's a totally bigger problem
madness.
for liberals.
We just don't whine.
The fact that
political debate
with liberals is basically impossible in America today, because liberals are calling names while conservatives are trying to make arguments. And when every one of your arguments is characterized as an attempt to bring back slavery or resegregate lunch counters, it's a little hard to have any sort of productive debate. I mean, I have no problem with invective, obviously, but the name of my book isn't invective, it's slander, and I think there ought to be a point to the invective.
What are some...
The idea that Ronald Reagan was stupid, which I document at great length in my book. I mean, that is a stunning, stunning fact. The man, the bumbling old guy who won the Cold War, the way he was demeaned and attacked as being stupid. Meanwhile, when he was going into his second term, suddenly there was a spate of special interest articles on senility, growing senility, and how old Ronald Reagan, he got encroaching senility. Meanwhile, half of the Supreme Court justices were older than he was, and I didn't notice any of the liberal media asking that Justice Thurgood Marshall or Justice Brennan or Justice Blackmun resign, though they were deciding life and death issues from the Supreme Court.
Before the students get to ask questions, gay marriage. Why can't gays get married like straights do?
Well, they can. They have to marry a member of the opposite sex.
Why can't they marry a member of their sex?
How could Obama be any stronger on foreign policy short of attacking Iran? And I remember you said after 9/11, what we should do is attack Muslim countries, kill their leaders, and convert them to Christianity.
Yes.
Do you still stand by that moderate position?
Absolutely fantastic policy. I haven't heard a better one.
This undocumented immigrant who has lived in this nation for almost 22 years wants to, as a sign of my humanity and yours, recognize you and say, can I give you a hug?
No, let's get on with the question. Look, the pre-1970 immigrants were more educated, made more money, were more likely to buy houses, and 30% of them went home. Now no one goes home. They go on welfare, and they are far more likely to be on welfare than the native population. I think a nation's policies should be concerned with the people already here, and that includes the immigrants who came last year and the year before. It should be people who live here benefit, not to become the, battered woman's shelter of the world, where we're bringing in the hardest cases and, the wife beaters and the single mother with 8 kids.
Again, how do we...
My question is, how is it any of your business what I choose to put in my body if I'm not affecting anyone else?